Hi everyone. Today we're going to make zucchini banana bread. I wanted to think of ways to use my zucchini since my husband doesn't really like to eat straight up zucchini. And I wanted to make something healthier. In the beginning of the pandemic, I was making a lot of banana nut muffins and they weren't the healthiest. I put a lot of things in them to add extra calories and to make them tastier, like walnuts, and I made streusel on top. And they tasted really good, but they were pretty high in calories. So this is a healthier muffin. And the recipe that I got is from a website called rumblytumbly.com. And I will put the link below along with the ingredients and the instructions. And so this recipe is going to make 8 mini muffins. And I made some yesterday, which we are eating, but I wanted to make another batch today to give to my neighbors. So I'll read off the ingredients. They're pretty simple. 1.5 cups of flour, a cup of sugar, and I've been using organic coconut palm sugar, which is supposed to be better for you. A teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of baking powder, half teaspoon of baking soda, half teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 3 mashed bananas. And when my bananas start to go bad, before they get really bad, I peel them, put them in the freezer. I like to eat frozen bananas, or they come out like this. You can put them in the microwave, which is what I'm going to do. A half cup of vegetable oil. If you want to make this even healthier, you can add a half cup of unsweetened applesauce, but I don't have any. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a cup of shredded zucchini. So if you want to make this non-dairy, you can use egg replacer instead of an egg. That works fine too. And we've preheated the oven to 325, and when we come back, I will have all the ingredients and we'll start putting this together. Hi, and we're back, and I have my zucchini shredded and I have it sitting in a towel. You can use a cheesecloth too, because zucchini has a lot of water, and this looks like more than a cup, but once it sits here for a while and we drain it, it's going to be really small. So I've talked to some of my relatives about their gardens, and my sister, I think she hasn't had a lot of luck this year. Not very many cucumbers. A lot of things just aren't growing very well. And my sister-in-law, Heidi, in Ohio, she said she didn't have many cucumbers either, but they have a lot of peppers. And yesterday I saw she got a bunch of tomatoes from her garden. We're getting peppers, we're getting tomatoes, and we had a ton of cucumbers. And I made a lot of pickles, and I'm done with the cucumbers. I wish I could ship some of my cucumbers to them. Anyway, my sister, I told her I was going to make zucchini bread, and she said whenever she makes zucchini bread, it reminds her of our mom. My mom used to make a lot of zucchini bread. When you have a lot of kids, you have a big garden, you get inventive. You make whatever you can to feed all those hungry mouths. So let's get busy. We have our bananas here, 1 cup of bananas, and we're going to add the egg, the oil, and the vanilla. So we have the egg. Cup of oil, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Give this a quick mix. Okay. Add the dry ingredients. So for the dry ingredients, we have our 1.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Baking powder. Baking soda. And a half teaspoon of salt. I love these little marble containers that I got from my daughter. I keep my salt and pepper in this, and my butter crock. I love them. I think they're pretty. Okay, so here we have our dry ingredients. And it actually says in the recipe to gently fold in the dry ingredients. So I'm going to get rid of the mixer, get a spoon, and gently fold in the dry ingredients. Now in my batch I made yesterday, I added a cup of walnuts because I love nuts, and if it were up to me I'd add nuts to almost everything, but I'm making this for my neighbors and I don't know if they're as crazy about nuts as I am, so I'm leaving the nuts out. And these are from my neighbors, Bob and Marianne. They're retired, they're in their 80s, and I know they don't do much baking, so whenever I make stuff, I try to take some over to them. They especially love my cherry streusel cake, a German recipe. So good. It's not very sweet, which is good. All right, so now I have the zucchini. I'm going to fold it up in the towel, take it over to the sink, and squeeze as much water out of it as I possibly can. So we're back, and this is what it turns out to. It squished it down about half the size, so that's about right. About a cup of zucchini. This towel to the side. I also added to my zucchini bread yesterday, in addition to the walnuts, I added some pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. Just a small, tablespoon or so of each. They're high in protein, so I don't eat a lot of meat, so I try to get my protein where I can. They're a good source. All right, I have my mini loaf pan here. I'll spray it down. A little scoop here. Use a little quarter cup measure, or if you have an ice cream scoop, you can use that too. I'm just going to fill this up, and when we come back, we're going to put it in the oven. Hi, I'm back, and I have my pan ready to go. It was just enough to fill these 8 mini loaves. It's going to go in a 350 oven for 30 to 35 minutes. And I'm going to get this mess cleaned up, and I'll show you the finished product. Hi, we're back, and the zucchini was done at 30 minutes. And I did want to mention, I researched a lot of recipes for banana zucchini bread, and most of the recipes said to cook it at 350. This particular recipe said 325. In my oven, I have a gas oven, which my next home, if I have a different oven, I'm going to get an electric oven because I feel personally they work better for baking. but I still want a gas stove top. Anyway, I set mine to 3 because it doesn't run as hot. So if you have a good working electric oven, I would say cook at 325. So here we are. They've come out, and I'm going to put them on a rack to cool. They look really good. And I will probably take Marianne and Bob 4 of these, and maybe the rest I'll take down to Huma, my other neighbor. She is from Pakistan. Her husband is from Iran. She is an excellent cook. She doesn't do a lot of baking though, and I know her 2 young boys love sweets. So this zucchini bread is not extraordinarily sweet, but I think they'll enjoy it. So I'll take them a few pieces. So thank you for watching my video.